So what we've done for Tammy is to put her on hormone blockers. It's only been about a month, and when she's ready, she'll be able to decide which way she's going to go through puberty. She will have either female hormones, or she'll stop the hormone blockers and become a man.
And that's what the blocker does, is buys her time to mature, and time for us to kind of catch up with her, because she's running this fast.
That's just a little bit on a story that we'll follow up a bit more on next week. Two mothers, two women who are married in Berkeley, California, have a child together, a boy who at 8 years old told them he wants to be a girl. So they have been giving him treatment for essentially a sex change. But they're saying, don't worry, it's just to delay the onset of puberty so he has time to figure out what he wants to be. I would suggest to you that it's a problem that they're trying to interfere with the boy's natural hormones at this stage. It's a bit of a strange thing, and it is slightly related to what we're going to be talking about next. The issue of sex ed in the classroom here in Canada. If it breaks in Ontario, you can be sure it will be across the country. In fact, in British Columbia, this sort of thing is already happening. This past weekend, an ad ran in the National Post. Perhaps we can show that ad now. Created quite a controversy. There it is. It says, "Please don't confuse me. I'm a girl. Don't teach me to question if I'm a boy, transsexual, two-spirited, transgendered." Well, that ad has angered a lot of activists, especially in the gay and lesbian community. The plan, according to the Ontario McGuinty Liberal government, is to teach about transgendered issues in grade 3. When kids are, what, 7, 8 years old? They want to teach them that then. A lot of parents say that's too young, just like they think that it's inappropriate to be teaching about oral and anal sex in grade 7. Here's the ad that activists are bringing back in response. Check this one out. It says, "Please don't insult me. I'm Chase. Teach me to question everything, especially, specifically that transgendered, transsexual, intersexed, and two-spirited are just two of my options." Now, you'll notice that this guy has facial hair. I'm betting he's a lot older than grade 3. Is grade 3 too young? Dominic C. is a father of 2. He's a pastor in Toronto and part of a move to say it is too young and that Mr. McGuinty should pull back on his sex ed and be honest with people. Mr. C., I take it that you don't think that Dalton McGuinty's been upfront in this election campaign and what he's going to do in terms of sex ed for students.
Well, he has been evading these issues for a long time, and he said, well, when last year when the sex ed was sparked a public outcry, he said, well, let's take it back for a rethink. You know, but in rethink, in political terms, we know that he say wait till the election. Now he's pretty coming out and saying, well, he's going to bring back the notorious sex education curriculum. Is that right?
Well. Based on what Christina Blizzard just told me, he's already admitting. We've had 2 of his cabinet ministers, Glenn Murray and Kathleen Wynne, admit that this is coming back. Now, apparently, in an editorial board meeting with the Toronto Sun today, he's admitted it's coming back. I want to ask you about this. When I heard about the anger from parents over this, it was that they felt the subject matter they were trying to teach the kids was not appropriate for the ages that the so-called experts said, this is when we should teach them about this. Parents said, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not going to argue that sex ed shouldn't be taught, but that's not appropriate for that age. Now you've got the activists from places like Extra, where we pulled the ad with a mustachioed guy named Chase, saying, please teach me to question everything. Gay and lesbian activists are rallying to this, saying, we've got to teach all of this, support transgendered rights. To me, that wasn't what parents were complaining about. They said, don't teach my kids things before they're ready for it. And now it's become a fight over gay rights.
Well, exactly, because we respect people with different sexual orientation. We respect that gay people have, basic human rights. But hey, we have rights too. We are parents, and we have the rights to raise the kids that we want them to be, right? So we have the right to determine what kind of things that go into the minds of these young minds of the young brains, and that is very important because we know young minds are very absorptive. They take in everything. Once they take in something, it is very hardwired, and it's very tough to get them out. At grade 3. I mean, just simply inappropriate for them to be taught these, and transgender, all these issues that are just too young and too early.
Now, what do you think about the fact that parents wouldn't be allowed, if this goes through as we're told, and in fact in the Toronto District School Board's resource manual for teachers, you're not allowed to pull your kids out. If you don't like it, tough luck.
Well, I mean, when I read that part, it's actually on page 10 of that document. I read through the whole thing, 230 some pages, and I'm angry because it's like the school board trying to come into my home and teach my kids and say, well, you parents, get out, take a walk while we brainwash your kids. And this is like invasions of our right. This is our kids. We want them to be taught in a way that is in connection with our values. I mean, by shutting us out as parents, this program, this policy is not very inclusive. In fact, it's exclusive, excluding parents. So I'm angry about it, very angry.
Very exclusive. Do you think most of the media have paid proper attention to this issue in the election?
No. That's why we, in the Chinese community yesterday, we had a big press conference. We tried to bring some noise to the debate because no major, save you guys, no major mainstream left-leaning media are carrying this at all. I mean, they talk about education funding and stuff like that, but funding is one thing, but the educating of the mind of the children is actually, in the long-term perspective, more important than just money.
All right. Well, Mr. C, thanks for coming in. Dominic C in Toronto. And as you leave, as we let you go, we will show you what some of the mainstream media outlets are saying about this. We've got some tweets here. Let's roll through some of those and show people what the media party says about this. This is Steve Murray tweeting about the National Post ad. He says he's offended by it. He says the Post can make it all right by donating revenue from the ad to an organization like PFLAG. Guess what? The Post apologized. They're going to do it. That's Aaron Wary from Maclean's. He's trying to link this to how parents are crazy, and they write all these things about how this is Paul Wells from Maclean's. They're all just making fun of this now. Tabitha Southey, I can't even say that woman's name. She's from the Globe and Mail. She was offering to raise money to run a counter ad. That's what the paid up members of the media party think about these sorts of things. They laugh at you, they snicker at you behind their back. And well, not behind your back, they're doing it online on Twitter.